What's up, y'all? This is Not Just Candle Talk, the raw, unfiltered podcast for creators, small business owners, and entrepreneurs who are sick of playing by the rules that no longer serve us. And today, we're talking about money. Yeah, that part nobody wants to talk about, but everyone struggles with. This episode is called Broke or Bad at Budgeting. The financial wake-up call every entrepreneur needs. Because I'm going to keep it real. Most people don't have business problems. They have a money mismanagement problem. Okay? So we're going to get into it. Let's start here. Being a small business owner or contractor looks cute on social media. Invoicing, branding, fancy coffee and coworker spaces, but behind the scenes, what are we doing? You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You get paid on the 15th and it's gone by the 17th. You're making $5,000 one month and $500 the next. And let's be honest, you don't even know what your monthly business expenses are. Here's a truth bomb. If you don't respect your money, guess what? Your money won't respect you. So let me hit you with 5 financial mistakes I've seen over and over from entrepreneurs. Okay? Number 1, no separation between business and personal. If your business and your personal accounts are the same, your business is already in chaos. So today, or when you get a second, or some time, or whenever, open a separate account. It's vital. It's absolutely vital to have separate accounts. Okay? Number 2, no emergency fund, aka the shit happens funds. If a client bails or if Stripe freezes your account, ask yourself, do you have 2 months of expenses ready to float you? Because most don't. Okay? Number 3, not paying yourself a salary because you deserve a check, right? Stop treating yourself like the unpaid intern in your own company. Okay? Find a way to pay yourself. It's important. Okay? And it's hard to do. Okay, it's hard to find your little piece of the profit in a small business or doing contract work. But you have to make that a priority for yourself. Okay. Number 4, only planning for the good months. Okay, planning your budget around a $6,000 month is cute until you have a $2,000 month. All right. Build your budget based on your lowest predictable month. Right. I had to learn this the hard way. Okay. I always was going big. And finally I realized, let me always lower what my budget is. At least a couple thousand under what it should be, right? Because it was a bad habit. I always went big. And that's not reality. It's not reality, especially when you're starting off. You always want to give yourself a little wiggle room, as you will. That way, when those good times roll in, or when the good revenue starts to pick up, you will eventually see where your money is actually going. Okay. Number 5, no financial SOPs. If you don't know your revenue, your expenses, your debt, and your profit margin, then you don't run a business. You run chaos. Okay. I have a friend, a business mentor. She has had a business for over a small business. She's ran for over 20, 25 years. I always go to her and get her views on these types of things. And she's open. She's open and always honest with me. And I go to her for this because if you don't know where your debt is, where your expenses are, and your profit margin, you can't predict year to year. You can't predict 6 months, not even 6 months down the road. You can't predict it. And you have to have those numbers for a year to year basis, something you can look back on, right? And that's really how you grow. You don't want to, it's nice to look forward, right? But real businesses actually look behind. They do their research. They look what happened the year after because things change. I mean, the year before, that everything changes year to year. So you always want to go back and see what you did. What was your numbers looking like? How much debt did you? Because you're going to have debt, right? Everyone has debt. You always want to go back and look at that debt, look at that revenue, and then that's really how you plan. That's how you plan for 6 months. I like to plan for myself. I like to plan 6 months in advance. That's just a safe haven for me. Let me tell you a story real quick. In 2022, I made more money than I ever had. But by Q4, I was damn near broke. No savings, tax bills due, burnt out from overworking just to keep up an image, right? The candle business, Why? Because I never planned for a back end. I didn't set boundaries. I was making revenue, but not making wealth. And wealth, that's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep, protect, and then multiply. Okay? It's a learning curve. It's always a learning curve. That's why I do these podcasts, because if you're not learning from your mistakes, it's always going to be chaos. And that's why people give up most of the time. Okay? So let me give you a simple blueprint. You can have it today. You can steal it today. I call it the P.A.I.D.S method. Okay, I'm gonna run down each letter and I'll repeat it. It's called the P.A.I.D.S method. I'm gonna break down each letter for you. Okay, here we go. Pay yourself first, even if it's $100 a month. Build the habit. Okay, that's the P. Pay yourself first. A. Automate your money. Use tools like QuickBooks. You can use Wave or even a Google Sheet. Every transaction should be tracked. Okay? I. Invest in a bookkeeper or a CPA. Okay? If you're not great with numbers, hire someone who is, even if you have to hire them part-time. D. Divide your income. So try this breakdown, if you will. 30% on taxes, 30% expenses, 30% in your savings, and 10% in reinvesting in your business. Okay, that was D, divide your income. S, set financial goals monthly. Don't just track income, set actual goals. Okay, so how you do that? You pay off the $500 debt this month. Then save $1,000 toward emergency funds. So set goals monthly. Okay. Your business is not a vibe. It's a machine. Treat it like one. Okay. So I want to real talk. Here's what helped me. I'm going to give you the tea. Okay, as they say. Here's what helped me. A few things. The Wave app. It's a free invoicing and bookkeeping app. Something called K Capital. That's with the Q. QAPITAL. It's a auto savings goal. Use those Google Sheets. my monthly budget Bible. Okay, the Google Sheets is my monthly Bible. Notion Finance dashboard. You can track your goals, and you can see your income visually. Okay, these are things that I use. These are things that help me. And then cash stuffing method. If you love visuals, try envelope budgeting digitally or physically. Okay, that's if you're a visual person. Okay, so use these tools that I just and I'll put all this stuff in the show notes. Use these tools, and they will work. They can work. Okay, so every Sunday, what I did was I spent 30 minutes doing a money meeting with myself. I looked at what came in, what went out, and then what's next. Okay. So those are just some tips I wanted to throw out there because it's important. Like, a lot of people just don't talk about, they're not randomly talking about money, the small business with other entrepreneurs. They're not doing that, right? They're suffering. And I'm here to try to open up conversations about these things because it's needed. So if you're listening to this and feeling overwhelmed, broke, or even embarrassed, I get it. But don't let shame keep you stuck. You are not bad at business. You just haven't had the right financial foundation. And no one taught us this stuff growing up, especially not in our communities, right? But this is your financial wake up call. Okay, this is it. And I had to do this episode because, like I said, and I always say in all of my episodes, I think it's worth talking about, especially this year, especially now. It's worthy of a conversation or two. Okay. So if this episode hits home, share it with someone who needs to hear it. You can also leave a review. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to download the free financial reset checklist for entrepreneurs, and you can get that. I'll put that link in the on the website of www.notjustcandletalk.me, and you can just download that free download checklist and use it. Right, use it as a reference guide because visually it's important to see these things, not just hearing me talk. But if you see these things, it's a few downloads that I have, but looking at these things just for a couple minutes throughout your week, or once a month, however you want to do it. But I think it's important to have these checklists, have these just to check in with yourself and check in with if you have employees or things like that, to always keep the goal in mind. And remember, money is not the goal. It's not the goal. Freedom is. And freedom requires discipline. Let's get our house in order, so to speak. Let's build real wealth, and let's talk about the hard stuff so we can actually all win, because it's doable, right? So, like I said, until next time, keep it raw, keep it real, and keep it moving. I'm going to end this episode right here. I just wanted to come on and drop a few things on here for you to reference, to use, to help if any way I can. And of course, if I find some more things that's worth discussing, I will do a part 2 of this. Maybe I can bring some people on and have these discussions, have a round table, so to speak, do a webinar or a Zoom, have a Zoom call, and we can talk about it because it's worthy of a conversation. So until next time, thank you so much for listening. And like I said before, all the downloads I'm putting in the show notes, right at the bottom of the show notes, and you can download all of them for free. All of my downloads are free as always. And until next time, thank you for listening. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening!